All right, so on page 125, 126. What kind of questions did you come across that I could help you with? Anybody? Yeah. Number 5. Are AP scores nominal, ordinal, or scale level? They're ordinal. Okay, and remember, so on an AP score, if you get a 5, that doesn't mean you got 100%. Okay, that just means you scored in a certain range, and then they give you a 5. So you might not ever know if you got 100% on an AP test other than your scoring. Okay. What else did you see? Yeah. 2 and 7. Calculate the median scores at both schools. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is 5. Okay, so it looks like, it looks like for number 2 is Washington High School, if I counted that right, and I just did it real quick. Looks like they have 39 students total in this category, and Lincoln has 37 students. So it's in order, okay? So it looks like, so half of 39 is, where's that, 18.2. So 19 is going to be our median there. Lincoln, if I divide that by 2, that's going to give me, so we're looking for the 19th score. So it goes in there once, 18.5, so that's at 19 as well. Okay, so if I count up the scores, I'm looking for the 19th score. So doesn't matter which way, top to bottom. So there's 6 students that scored a 5, 10 that scored a 4, so that's 16. I'm trying to get to the 19th. So a 3 would be the median score for Washington, because my 19th score would fall within that 12. And if I do the same thing for Lincoln, 5s, there was 4 students. 4s, there were 14, so that's 18. 18 plus 11 is 39, so 3 falls into that category as well. Does that make sense how I did that? I'm finding the middle of my data set, and I don't know exactly which one of those scores of a 3 that would be the median, but one of them would be, because there's just a bunch of them. And then you also said 7. Is the range an effective way to compare consistency between the 2 schools? No, the range wouldn't be, because your range, you're going to go 5 minus 1, top score versus worst score on both schools. So they would both have a range of 4. So there's no comparison. It would be like any school USA with AP scores, you would have a 4 would be the range of scores. What else did you see? Excuse me, at 125, 126. Bless you. Alex, you get the homework done? Cool. Bless you. Any other problems on the homework? We're good to go? Happy? Content? Life's good? All right. So that was 111. 111. 1.1 dash something. 1-12. Cool. All right, so excuse me, I am on page 27 of our notes. So let's have that out. Go with that. Then I need to pull my copy. Wow, I'm so good at this game. All right. Page 27. We ready to rock and roll? All right. So we will have a quiz on Friday. So we'll have a few days of review. So this will be the last of the notes, and then we'll go over review, or be doing review for the next couple days. Is that okay? Friends, we got to make sure we have that half sheet. Okay? It's frustrating that you have that opportunity and you come in going, oh, I don't have one. Like, if you're having a hard time getting a half sheet of paper, there's paper underneath the Promethean board. Grab one of those, cut it in half, and start writing stuff down so you know that you'll have it. Okay? All right. So far we are starting to draw conclusions from what we have seen. There's a lot more to statistics to verify if things should be a certain way or another. But the first one I want to talk about, we talked about this, measures of center. So this is on page 27. So we're looking at basically the mean and the median. And yes, the mean is influenced by outliers, whether it's to the right or to the left. Okay, the median is not, because the median is just a counting of your data, finding a specific value. The mean is all the data added up and divided by the number of pieces. Okay, so what the mean is going to tell if it's skewed right or left. Okay, now this is one way. It's not the only way, but it's one way right now. If you have the median is at one location, and if the mean is to the right of it, this means you are skew right. Sometimes they call that skew positive, but I like right because it gives us direction. If the mean is this way, oops, I wanted to red. The mean was this way from the median, then it is skew left or skew negative. Okay? If they're both the same, it's very possible you are talking about a normal distribution. Okay? There's some symmetry about it. So that's basically talking about that. Is there any questions about mean, median? Are we okay with the median? So just define, just so you know, median is the middle of data, and then the mean is the average of data. Okay, so if you had a whole bunch of points or a whole bunch of values, you can find the middle value, that's your median. If you wanted to find your mean, you add up what those values are, divide by the total number of stuff. Okay, so that's the first thing. Is there anything I need, or can I move off the screen? And I want the screen, cool. All right. Measures of spread. Again, I'm just going down on page 27, just kind of giving my own little spin to it. It's a typical distance from the mean. okay? And it could show some consistency, could show predictability in a data set. It's the two that we will use is we have standard deviation and we have IQR. Okay, these are different. So this is the middle 50% of our data. Okay, so the IQR comes from our box and whiskers. So this is Q1 and this is Q3. The IQR is Q3 subtract Q1. Okay, the IQR, because it's between here and here, each one of these little portions consists of 25% of the data. 25 plus 25 is 50%. The standard deviation is larger than the IQR, okay? But it deals with something different. So the standard deviation, if we had a normal curve, and if we said that this was the mean, if we were to go out a certain standard deviation, this consists of about 68% of our data. So the standard deviation is spread wider than the IQR. The IQ, and they're going to be two different numbers, and that's okay. Okay, the standard deviation and the IQR, well, the standard deviation can be found on Desmos. Okay, and then basically when you use Desmos to find either of them, there's a certain way that we're going to go through it. Now, I'll talk to you more about that as we go on. Shape can be skewness. You know, if you have the skew right or left. Okay. You could also talk about normal distribution. Okay, the shape. So shape, when we have something like this, we could say something about that shape. What do you think? Skew right or skew left? Yeah, this is a skew right, because this tail here is larger than the other side. Okay, if the tail was bigger going the other way, it'd be skewed left. The IQR isn't going to necessarily tell you about skewness. It's what's ever pulling to the right or to the left. Okay, and then the outliers, we talked about this just the other day. So if I wanted to find the lower, so this is the lower, it's going to be, excuse me, Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. And if I wanted to find the upper, it's going to be Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. Okay, now, the big difference between, I'll give you a sec to let you write that down. Bless you. We good? Okay. So let's say we have a bunch of students. And I know my art is impeccable. You guys all love it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So let's say we are talking about heights of first grade girls. Okay, so let's just say we have these 9 girls that we're looking at the height with. We're going to line them up from, smallest to tallest. And I realize there's no discrepancy in my art, so I apologize. So if I find the median, this person is at the median. They are in the middle of our data. But let's say we have all inches. So let's say 31 inches. I'm just making this up. I don't know if this is even accurate. Okay, so let's say that those are the heights of first grade girls, okay, in inches. And again, I'm just making this up. This is not indicative on, don't go home and measure your little sister who's in first grade and saying Stirrup was wrong. I just made this up. So I have a median there. So the median is just the middle of the data. Middle of data. Okay. If I wanted to find the mean, I'm going to add 31, 31, 32, 32, 33, 33, 33, 34, and 35. And I'm going to divide by the 9. Okay? Now, it would be purely coincidental if the mean actually came out to exactly 33. That just means that my mind somehow formulated to work. But if I add all that up, I mean, the median, you look at the list, you find where the middle of your list is. The mean, you're going to add up all the heights and divide by the number of people on your list. Okay, so they are two very different things, though they could resemble approximately the same value. Okay, again, if the mean is larger than the median, it's going to be skew right. If the mean is smaller than the median, it's going to be skew left. So it's pulling it one way or the other. Just by looking at this, I wouldn't say there would be any outliers, but I haven't done the math to verify if it is or isn't. So a lot of times people will say, well, the mean and median have to be the same. No, they don't. The median is just the middle of stuff. The middle of this classroom is about where this, somewhere in the middle of this table, I would bet you, maybe a little bit here. But if I were to find the average length of the wall distances in this room, that's different. Okay. All right, so they consider this display, this is temperature in Fahrenheit. So you look at that. The good summary of this data might say the temperature have a median of about 72. That's about the middle. The range goes from 81 minus 67, so that's 14. It's skewed to the right, and there's no outliers present. I mean, just by looking at it, you might be able to say 81 might be an outlier or not. Oh, we got a coupon here. Okay, you got it. Thank you. So if you notice the description feature of the context of the question, temperatures, also notice the median, the IQR were chosen because of the skewness of the data. So if your data is skewed, the median holds its spot a lot better. Okay? Again, this is like thinking about that neighborhood. If you were to drive through, you guys know where Pirates Cove is? You know what I'm talking about? Now, if you live over by Pirates Cove, I'm not trying to make fun of you, but there are some homes over by Pirates Cove that they're maybe not as nice as Cherry Hills. Agree? Meaning the price might be a little different. But every now and then, in the Pirates Cove area, because those lots that the houses sat on, someone will come in and buy the house, which might have been a small little 800-900 square foot house. They might knock it down, and they might build, a McMansion over there, right? So if all the houses were $200,000 over there, which I'm picking a low value, I'm just saying, but if someone were to build some massive, very well decorated, huge home, that's going to be worth a lot more. So if you wanted to find the median value of the homes over there, that would be a better idea of your central measure than if you were to find the mean, because you have all these $200,000 houses, and then you have like a $1.2 million house sitting there. That $1.2 million house pulls the mean to the right. It gives it skewness. Okay, it goes with the same thing as well. I don't know if this is still there. I remember Mr. Dwyer, our math coordinator, was showing me this many years ago. There's a house that has been in the middle of Cherry Hills for the longest time. So Cherry Hills, obviously you have, and perhaps some of you live in the Cherry Hills, or you know people who live in Cherry Hills. You have some huge homes, beautiful homes. But there's this one home that this lady, she's like 102 years old, has lived there since 1940. So she has this little 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. It sits on a nice piece of property, and you have mansions all around it. Well, that house, yeah, the land value is worth a lot, but the land value with, that 8,000 square foot home means that property is worth a lot more. The land that this little 2-bedroom house is sitting on, the land's worth a lot, but the house doesn't make it worth all that much. Okay, it doesn't increase the price, but that would be an outlier to the left. So that would bring the average price of homes in that immediate area down, because, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a person who's living in a home that's smaller or bigger or in between, someone who's living in a house for a long period of time or not. I'm just saying that those are some characteristics that I think you could follow on me. So is there evidence in this to display that temperature will be less than 90 degrees? Well, every one of the temperatures are less than 90 degrees. So everything is below 90. So this gives us evidence that, we're going to have temperatures below 90. Is there statistical evidence in this display that the temperature recorded will likely be in the 70s? Well, you have some value in the 70s, but basically your median is in the 72 range. So is there statistical evidence in the display that the next temperature recorded will likely be in the 70s? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 pieces of data. That's far more data than the 2 at 81 and the 7 at below 70s. So I'd say that the next recorded temperature could be in the 70s, because our spread, or IQR, actually it's beyond our IQR, has a lot more of the data that's falling in there. Okay, so there are predictions that can be used with statistics. Do you guys know who Dave Aguilera is? Weather guy on Channel 4. He used to live down the street from me, and now he is divorced, now remarried, but when they went through the divorce, they sold the house. But I remember seeing him, because it's like, cool, I got, the weather guy, and like, I'm socially awkward. Like, I seem like a cool guy to you because, I'm socially awkward, but with adults, I'm socially awkward. So I'd see Dave Aguilera, I'm like, hey, it's a nice day. He's the weather guy. He kind of knows it's a nice day. It's kind of a dumb question. But I always used to give him a hard time when I'd see him, we'd be working on our yards or whatever and just chit-chat, just being neighborly. I was like, you have the best job in the world. He goes, oh, I know. I said, no, you have the only job that you can be wrong all the time, and you still have a job. There's, oh, Chris, it's not like that. I'm looking at models of this, and I'm giving them grief, because the funny thing is, the weather guys, oh, it's supposed to be 80 degrees today. Yeah, we got 2.5 feet of snow. Go figure it out. But, it was always, he's a very, very nice person. So I enjoyed seeing him. But again, I was always social awkward. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Hey, we've been having nice weather. Yeah, he's been reporting on this. It'd be kind of like, hey, Chris, aren't those fractions a lot of fun to work with? Like, I'm bringing up his job about conversation. He's not bringing up my job as conversation. So, who knows? I'm off topic. I'm sorry. I'm on page 28 though now. Will you take a pretty good look at page 28 for me, please? So we have the stem and leaf, or they sometimes just call it the stem plot, where we have basically this: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 8, 9. 0, 2, 2, 2, 5, 5, 5, 5. Then I have going this way, 9, 1, 6, 8. 0, 0, 3, 8. 1, 2, 6, 6, 8, 9. 1, 4, 6, 6. 1, 4, 6, 6. This is going with the 8. 1, 4, 6, 6, 7, 8. 4, 8, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 9. And I have 0155. Okay. The reason I wanted to point this out is some of you had some problems with this. So this is like Monday, and this is like Wednesday. Let's see what they're actually comparing. Assume that the back-to-back STEM plots show scores of 2 different college courses. One meets Monday and one meets Wednesday. Okay. First off, does everyone realize that we're talking about 2 different classes here? We have something to the right, we have something to the left. Does that make sense? Okay, so the Wednesday class, do I have a score in the 40s? No. The Monday class, I do. I have a 49. Agree? I don't have a score in the 50s for the Wednesday class, but I have 3 scores in the 50s on the Monday class. Okay, so let me ask you this. What is my max value on the Wednesday, and what is my max value on the Monday? What do you think? Do what? So 95 on here and 95 on both. Okay, so this is my max score. But notice, some of you on the quiz, and I didn't really dock you for it, but some of you said, hey, the max score is 5. You just gave me the number. The 9 goes with it. Okay, so what is my minimum score on the Wednesday? 62. Okay, so that's my minimum score there. What is my minimum score on the Monday? 49. Good, your dyslexia is working real well. You're reading numbers backwards now. Right, 49, because this is the lowest. Okay, so watch out when you're doing that. That was just something I saw in the last quiz that I want to make sure that you feel comfortable doing. Okay, so a comparison of the two, and again, I'm on page 28, about halfway down. Comparison of the two might look something like the Wednesday section has a higher median and a lower IQR than the Monday section. Both days are skewed negatively, meaning to the left. There are no outliers on either day. And again, we can't verify. We can't always just look at our data and say there's no outliers. It's possible there might be. And if you're finding the outliers using the Q1 minus 1.5 IQR, the right side is Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. So do you think that there's evidence that the Wednesday class is outperforming the Monday class? Well, what are some things that might have happened if the exact same test was given on Monday and then given on Wednesday? Okay. Wednesday got information from the Monday group, didn't they? That could happen. Now, I'm not saying anyone's cheating, but that could happen. Okay. It's possible that the person who is the teacher of the class, Monday is like the kind of the experiment, and they're working out the kinks to the lesson, and then they have a much better lesson on Wednesday. So, there's different things that could be observations of why one class would do better than the other. Next question, is there statistical evidence that our Wednesday section is more consistent overall than the Monday section? You look at the range between the two, and you're doing 95 minus 62, so you're talking about 33, and then you're going 95 minus 49. So it does seem that the Wednesday is more predictable because the range, my maximum versus my minimum, is a closer value, so my values are falling a little more tight-knit. So it says a theory is students who register for the Wednesday course generally learn more and perform better than students in the Monday course. Data are frequently for creating theories, but you often find evidence that theories are true. This will be investigated. So these are just right now. There could be conclusions that we could make. It doesn't mean that it becomes the gospel of statistics, but if you were to look at scores, I mean, I've definitely taught multiple sections. I have 2 sections of this class. The 2 classes as a whole, scores are very much the same. Like if I were to pull up my thing, I can see that my, Power School is so cool because it gives me the mean and the median. So I can kind of see the difference between the two. And this class and second period are within like 0.5% of each other on the mean, and the median is pretty much right there. So I either suck at teaching for both classes, or I do well at teaching in both classes, or you all are just as smart as second period, if not brighter, because you got it first. So there's just all kinds of stuff, but those are just a few things that are dealing with us and statistics. Okay, so we're coming up. We are at the end of the section. Let's see. What did I give last night? 125. Yeah, 125, 126. What did I do? All right. So let's just assign a small amount. I would want you to try page 127, problem 1 and 2 for tomorrow. And we'll go over that. I want to make sure we have a really good review. Are you getting your half sheets ready?